Hey everybody, Sean here from Somm Wine Club, and I have got some wine for you. This is the 2021 Domaine de l'Ecu Janus Chardonnay. This is coming from the Nantes region of the Western Loire Valley in France, and part of the July 2023 Somm Wine Club box. Now, Domaine de l'Ecu is an estate that is based in Muscadet, in the Pays Nantais, in the western part of the Loire Valley, and the current winemaker and owner, Fred Niger and Claire Niger, are well known for producing classic and really unique terroir focused, stunning examples of Muscadet made from Melon B. But they also have the Janus, which is Chardonnay, which is not allowed to be planted and labeled as Muscadet. Only Melon B can be labeled as Muscadet. So this is actually just a vin de France, wine of France, and yeah, it's declassified down to the level of just a table wine. But this is far, far, far from just a table wine. The estate was started in the early 70s by a man named Guy Bossard, who was fresh off of his mandatory military service in France, returned to the village where he grew up, and took over his family's vineyards and created Domaine de l'Ecu with a mind towards organic viticulture, sustainable winemaking, and really doing everything that was possible to create a healthy environment for grapes and wine to be made. So the winery's been organic certified since 1975, so almost 50 years now. They've been biodynamic since 1988. And in 2009, Guy Bossard started working with Fred Niger, an aspiring winemaker who he then later sold the estate to, and who has continued the mission that Guy started in the 70s with that organics and sustainable and terroir focused winemaking. So Janus is named for the Roman god of entrances and exits, or beginnings and ends. I wasn't able to find why it's named that, but if I can kind of venture a guess, I would say that this is something to introduce people, a way to become accustomed and enter into the understanding of their wines, their winemaking, and this region before moving into other wines. So this is 100% hand-harvested Chardonnay, wild fermented, and aged in concrete vats for 9 months. So this honestly has very little in common with many, many other Chardonnays around the world. That kind of really stony mineral backbone to this wine that is typical of wines grown on the kind of gneiss soil of Muscadet. And I was really entranced when I tasted this back in May. So I'm excited to share it with everybody. Let's see. So I had this when I first tasted it, and I smell it again now. And some of you are going to be like, what? What do you mean? It smells a little bit like agave. It has this kind of almost resinous, green, herbal kind of spice character that smells a little bit like tequila. It's not going to taste like tequila. It's not going to have the alcohol. It's not going to have any of those things. But there's some aromatic compound that just reminds me of that. There's this really beautiful sea spray, like sea asparagus, or like green coastal kind of grasses, along with tangy tart fruit, lime zest, lime peel, fresh lime juice, green apple, really, really tangy, tart, bright, crisp. And then I'm just jumping forward a little bit here, but aging in those concrete vats, which allow oxygen and allow the wine to breathe, is going to add a little bit more texture, complexity, and depth to the body of this wine, rather than just being sharp and straight up and down. Ooh, that's refreshing. I would say that this, honestly, for me and perception wise, I think that this winemaking and this wine has more in common stylistically with Muscadet, with wines made from Melon B in this region, than it does with most other Chardonnay. The acid's super high, the mineral richness and the kind of stony, salty character of this wine is front and center. It's the main attraction here. The acidity, the brightness, it kind of activates your mouth. You're going to be watering as soon as you take that first sip. But this wine does not lack in texture. All I want is a plate of oysters. I was just at Taylor Shellfish last week, and I had a bottle of Domaine de la Queue, but it was the Muscadet, not the Chardonnay. And yeah, these wines are just incredible with seafood. They pick up on the brininess, the saltiness, especially if you're going to do oysters, do West Coast oysters, because they have this lovely kind of kiwi, melon, cucumber, kind of green, fruity character, versus East Coast oysters tend to be quite a bit more briny and salty and, I don't know, personal preference. West Coast, best coast, right? There's so many other things too. Like if you're not a fan of oysters, any dish where you feel like a good squeeze of lemon or lime is going to help to brighten up the dish, or even ones that are kind of based in that style. This is excellent. Think ceviche. If you do like ceviche with that fresh lime juice, cilantro to kind of pick up on the green herbaceousness of the wine. A little bit of jalapeno, a little bit of spice, just kind of, I'm over the moon right now with this. Things you don't expect to find. Crunchy, tangy, tart Chardonnay being grown in the Pays Nantais in the western part of the Loire Valley, which historically, or if you want to like, whether or not this is true or not, but Melon B, Melon de Bourgogne, used to be planted in Burgundy, where Chardonnay is from, and they banished Melon B out of Burgundy, saying that it was a lesser grape variety, and it eventually found its way to the Loire Valley and to Muscadet. And now Chardonnay is following it, and I think that that's funny and interesting. So I'm really glad that Fred and Claire are making this wine. I think it is, like I said, a fantastic introduction to their estate, to their wines, and I hope that it encourages you, like it has for me, to seek out more of their wines and get them while you still can, because I'm not the only one who finds these wines entrancing, and they have developed quite a following internationally. They're on the list of many great restaurants around the world. And now you have them at your home. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for checking out the Janus Chardonnay from Domaine de la Queue. And I hope you enjoy. We'll see you next time.